is Davey Martinez. I am the oldest son of David Martinez and Maria Grullon, and I live with my father in Ridgewood, Queens. My brother, Alex Martinez, lives with my mother in Riverdale, up in the Bronx. My youngest siblings, Diana and Percy Martinez, live with their mother and my stepbrothers over in the Dominican Republic.
Meanwhile,
the case of Martinez versus Grullon has been ongoing since 2002. The case has been dismissed twice, relocated once, and they've even attempted to divorce in the Dominican Republic. By 2011, their case had been seen by 7 judges, 7 attorneys, across 2 New York City boroughs and 2 countries. Thousands of dollars were spent, and they've never reached a settlement. Before I moved in with my father, I lived with my mother up until I was 16. But before I turned 13, my mother was my best friend. Growing up, I dealt with a lot of bouts of anger and depression that resulted in 3 inpatient hospitalizations. As a result, my mother created an overstretched set of rules to kind of keep me under control. At one point, my mother even kicked me out of the house for buying a wig and refusing to give it to her so she can burn it. This ongoing power struggle between me and her lasted until I finally moved out of the house in 2009, and I also changed schools in addition. My father travels to the Dominican Republic at least 3 times a year. He is unable to marry my stepmother due to still being married to my mother. My father loves Diana and Percy. It is always hard to leave them when he has to go back home.
Hey, Percy. ¿Quieres pullar la computadora ahí? Una niña. Percy. Lindo. Ay, qué niño tan lindo, lindo hecho.
when my father is back at home in New York City and he's not doing his day job with the MTA, he's at home Skyping with the kids.
When Diana was first born, my mother didn't believe that that was his child, despite the fact that she resembles me.
I was hospitalized for the 3rd and final time at St. Vincent's Catholic Medical Center before its closing in 2010.
My father was out of the country and my mother was still my custodial parent, so she took over as caretaker. She gave me an ultimatum while I was in the hospital. Either I go back home with her, or I'd be forced to stay in the hospital. So when I refused, the length of my hospital stay increased. However, the hospital discharged me because I wasn't receiving any treatment. I was just being held there. Forced my mother to take me. But the first opportunity I had, I ran. When I ran in the direction of West 4th Street. My mother continued to follow me until I zipped back around and lost her somewhere around Houston Street. I changed clothes in an alleyway and ripped off my hospital bracelet and zipped through Chinatown and Tribeca until eventually I took the 4 train at Canal Street. I took it all the way up to Lexington Avenue, 59th Street, and remained there until I felt I was safe. 59th Street in Lexington, I took it all the way down to Brooklyn Bridge and City Hall and caught the J. From there, I took it all the way into Brooklyn, transferred to the M, and got off on Forest Avenue, a stop away from my house on Fresh Pond Road. I called my cousin and informed her of the situation before walking home to Fresh Pond Road. When I did finally make it back to my house, my mother had called the cops and the fire department to either take me back to the Bronx or to take me back to the hospital. However, neither of them found that the situation was necessary, so they let me stay with my father's family back in Queens. What's your name? How old are you? 80. When's your birthday? Alex has severe autism. However, years of intense home tutoring, trained by professionals educated in applied behavioral analysis, In addition to the persistence of my mother, Alex communicates through sign language, improved speech, and Apple products such as the iPhone. He spends much of his free time exercising with his Wii and watching Disney videos on YouTube.
You want to go in September 9? Where?
For
At the memorial, what memorial is that?
for
Phone?
My father sees Alex about twice a month. He used to have a visitation schedule with him, but now it's whenever both of their schedules give them the time. My father's visitations are the only time I'm able to see Alex. Alex, can you tell me who they are?
yeah,
Who are they?
baby,
Babies.
babies,
They're a brother and sister.
babies.
That's Diana, right there,
Yes,
and that's Percy.
yes.
Yeah, they're a brother and sister. My mother and I haven't spoken to each other in over a year. After the St. Vincent incident, we did try to mend things with each other. I would go over to the Bronx to celebrate Alex's birthday with her. I'd go over to visit her. But back in 2013, my father was suspended from work, and he had no money to help pay for my textbooks. When I called to ask her if she could help me, she turned me down with the excuse that my father has money hidden somewhere or whatever. And I'm not sure where the conversation went to this point, but I know that she had asked me to disregard her as my mother and that I was not her son.